Hello everybody and welcome to the Eurodollar. This is the new soap opera, and as you know, yesterday the referendum from the in Greece basically said no to Europe, not to Europe but to the plan, the rescue plan, which is not really a rescue. It's more like struggling. And obviously the Greek population has refused to follow through with it or keep going. And so they're back at, I mean, they should be back at the negotiation table tomorrow, Tuesday. And so we are the same situation. As you notice, there hasn't been a lot of move from the news. I guess that everything was sort of expected. What would happen, it already got factored into the market. One person, this group asked me a question about fundamental analysis, and I guess this is a good time to answer this because when you look at Greece and you look at Europe, I mean we know that Europe fundamentally is in bad shape. They are running a huge deficit and they have a high level of debt. Well, same as the United States actually, but the difference is that the United States is one country, and with one person or one organization making decision for policies, and the Federal Reserve can actually affect or help that situation. As in Europe, it's not the case. You have to have a lot of people making decisions together, and they're not very good at that, I think. And plus, if you let bankers make a business decision for anything, you're sure to lose. I hope nobody is a banker listening to me, but true. I mean, when you look at Greece, the only thing they want their money back, which is what banks want, and basically they don't necessarily take into consideration the toll on the economy, and they make decisions which don't seems to be business wise. Don't seems to be logical, at least for the country. So Greece is going back on the table, negotiation table, and go from there. So the question was, when you look at fundamental analysis, I believe that was the question, when do you actually make trade decision? And this is a tricky one because fundamental analysis is important, though how do you find entries? How do you use a fundamental analysis to enter or exit the market, and when? I mean, the timing is the most important one. One thing is for sure is that fundamental will join the chart, meaning that eventually the chart will get to the level where the fundamental say it should be. I mean, we've seen that in the euro right now. The euro went down quite a bit here since last August, and I think that the reason it happened is for fundamental reason. I mean, we all know, and at that time in August we didn't hear more, May, August, we didn't hear more much about Greece or anything like that. Actually, we didn't hear much about the debt crisis in Europe at all. But the dollar strengthened and the euro went down, and I think that it is because well, one of the reasons is because fundamentally maybe Europe is not as in a good shape as the United States on the economical level. That's probably what happened. So people are putting their money in the dollar. But again, the dollar is a safe haven, so anything goes wrong, everybody goes to the dollar. So that also is fundamental analysis, and that means that okay, how would you actually make a decision based on that? I mean, we knew that there was a crisis in Europe. We also know there's a crisis in the United States. I mean, we are running also high deficit in the United States, and we have a huge debt. So that will caught up eventually, but it looks like that the news or the situation of Europe is worse than in the United States, and being worse, then of course the money come down. Now the difference too is that it could be politically driven because a strong dollar means that the oil prices will go down. And if oil prices go down, then it's not good for Russia. And right now we're not very friend with Russia, so that could be that also is helpful. Talking about a low currency for Europe, initially it's a bad news because it costs more to buy stuff. But always, later on, it's actually beneficial to have a weak currency because your export will be better. You can export more stuff and make more money. So that's the same thing. Okay, weak currency is actually in midterm good because as export picks up, then the economy will do better. But when does that happen? So when do you know that those effects will affect the market, that the euro will go back up? Well, that's the problem because we don't know. We don't know when, what day it's going to happen. We know there's a period, 3 months to 6 months, but we don't know. We don't know when. So fundamental analysis is important because it tells us where the currency should go, but it doesn't tell us when, and it doesn't tell us how. So making decisions solely on fundamental analysis is possible if you look at a weekly or monthly outlook. So you would have to make decision on very long time frame because it takes a long time for it to, usually it takes a long time, relatively long time, for the chart to join the fundamental situation of a currency or an economy. So if you make a decision based on the weekly, let's say, then of course if the fundamental situation of Europe is so bad, then you go short. I mean, right now I wouldn't do it because it went down quite a bit. But then you would have to make decision on the long term because there's no you cannot make a decision on the hourly chart or the 4-hour chart. The best would be daily, but that's it. And then you pretty much take a position based on fundamental analysis, close your eyes, do not look at the chart for the next 3 months, really. And hopefully it goes in your direction. I mean, I'm joking there, but really it will be a roller coaster because potentially the market will go against fundamentals to join them again. But when it joins, I mean, how long does it take and how does it do it? So it's quite, it is possible to trade with fundamental, but I feel that it is, you have to do that in a longer time frame, and it takes some time for it to be reflected into the chart. Now the best is, of course, I think, to do a fundamental analysis, understand what's going on because it's quite important. But use the technical aspect of the currency to actually make decisions. I think that would be the best thing to do. Because when you look at technical analysis at one given period of time, this is pretty much where the entire market feels the price should be. And so technician, as compared to fundamentalist, technician says, well, the chart tells you everything that you need to know to make a decision. And it will take into consideration fundamentals. Whether you agree or not with it, it really doesn't really matter, really. But what I'm saying is that doing a strong fundamental analysis is a good idea that gives you that will tell you where the currency should go long term, and doing a technical analysis with that, I think, is probably good. Let's say, for instance, that fundamentally you believe that the currency is going to go down. Then when you do your technical analysis, you pretty much figure out that your best position would be on the short side. And so when you do your technical analysis, you could limit yourself just to go short because it's pretty much where the currency would go. But you may be disappointed because maybe sometime that currency will actually go against you for quite a bit before it goes back down. That's the way it is. So that's why it's important also to look at fundamental and also to look at technical and make a decision based on both. I don't think that making a decision solely on technical is or fundamental is such a good idea. So that's my answer to that question. I hope I answered it correctly. And what I'll do is I'll give you a quick analysis of the euro dollar. Nothing has changed, except that really there is this pattern here that is being created, or that has been created here, which is more like okay, so this here is interesting. So this is pretty much a triangle. So there's two things that can happen. We talked about a build-up to break that level here, which is still possible, and it will happen pretty much. I would say if it's a triangle, I mean it's pretty much the area where you should break. But also a lot of times, 60% of the time, I believe, a triangle are also a continuation pattern. I mean, if you look at this here, this configuration here is really a consolidation pattern. Consolidation pattern meaning that it will resume the trend. So it did break, though. It did break a lot of many trend line that we have, and so if it does break and uh, create a new trend, then could actually do that, but then that would be quite a big one. But anyway, right now we can look at this pattern here being a consolidation pattern into a triangle, and basically the zone of buy and sell are quite easy. Okay, this would be I would say a buy zone, no, sell zone, sorry. And this, of course, here would be a buy zone. But you can see that there will be, if it breaks from here, we talked about a head and shoulder from here to here and here before previously. That could happen, well, sort of a double bottoms, ugly head and shoulder, I would say. But anyway, there is a build-up going on the upside, which could be a triangle. But if it breaks up here, then it should actually go higher, and it goes higher to the length of this it should go higher the length of this triangle here, which is about 983 pip. So if it goes to 953 pips, almost 1,000 pip, then you go right into that zone here of previous resistance. So that would be quite possible. If it does that, that would be interesting to see what happened. I mean, the currency is quite low, so we need to keep that in mind. The sell zone is in this area here, of course, and if it does do that, breaks down, then of course we get to the same situation, same objective of about 1,000 pip, and 1,000 pip will give us, will put us to, let's see here. It will put us to almost parity, so the objective would definitively be parity. Get $1 to €1, and it may actually do that. It may actually do that. So if it breaks down here, and especially if it breaks that zone up here, then there's a very good chance that it will go to parity. Okay. Well, after that, what it does when it's there, that's a different story. But we'll see. So look at those levels. Between those two levels, if you want to trade, be careful. I mean, look at lower time frame, of course, but be cautious. In any case, I mean, this week we should see some, hopefully some resolution of the Greek problem. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Shoot me an email or comment on YouTube. I will do another video for the British pound and the Japanese yen.